Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead. So this is going to be from the 7th to the 14th of April 2025. If you want to get the full reading, it's listed in the description box below. So it's on my Patreon site. You can access the full read, you can join the membership. If you want to book a reading with me this week, check out the website below. 6-month reads, 3-month reads, lots of amazing deals. Okay, so like the video and comment. So we're going to start with the kind of negative stuff, the harder stuff, which is, I do think with some of the challenges that Gemini's facing, you're feeling very, very tired, very, very drained, very, very depleted. Some of you have got problems across the board. What I mean by this is financial. Some of you, the job you're going to, the people around you. There's a multitude of problems for Gemini, and I do think it's exhausting you. Okay, I think you are really, really tired and depleted and drained with multiple things going on at the same time. But our bigger message for Gemini is about you've been through a hard test, but with this Aries energy, it's now about action. So you've seen what you needed to see in both yourself and other people. All has been revealed, and I think now it's about combative energy. Now is a time to be active. Now's a time to go after what you want. Stop living in fear. Stop putting it off. I do think Geminis keep repeating the same old patterns though. So what I mean by this is you keep going after non-committal men. You keep being outwardly focused. And a message for this week is that it's time to start making the right moves with the right people. Okay? So what are we seeing here for Geminis this week? The 7 of Wands. Again, I do think that for Geminis to find love, you might need to heal from your ex, or there might be someone who's just a player. This is what you've got to be careful of. If what you want is love, then you've got to be careful with dealing with these men who are just players. So the Ace of Swords would be a Gemini woman who's probably not being honest with themselves. For the Gemini man, it could be getting rid of men who are just not good for you. They're always competing with you. They've got anger issues, the lower frequency. I think for Geminis, like you're just refusing to do the work. There is a sense of sabotage here. Like you're just refusing to do the work that needs to be done. Some of you are coming up as kind of sitting in your head. You feel like paralyzed. You're not making the right choices. You're not even doing anything. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. Some of you are kind of deflated. You're defeated. You're hiding from the world. Your anxiety has taken over. Your fear has taken over. There's almost like a hopelessness. But I do think it's maybe the environment you're in, or it could be past experiences. But they're telling you it's time to get up and start putting your focus into the life that you want to create, and to start believing that it's possible. I think sometimes you make lower choices because you don't really feel like what you really want is possible. That's the message I'm getting. If you're dealing with a Sagittarius, I wouldn't try and get a relationship from this guy, or a Leo, or an Aries. Okay? If you're dealing with a Sagittarius, I feel like this person doesn't want commitment. They're just a player. Yeah. I feel like Geminis are in a dead end. That's a message here. You're in a dead end job. You're in a dead end self. You're in a dead end community. You want to live, but you're amongst dead people. Right? You're amongst people who are basically tired, not inspired. So I think with Geminis, it's time to start thinking about, see the 4 of Wands reversed. This could be the place you were born. The 8 of Wands would be becoming an entrepreneur, not working in a 9 to 5. The 8 of Wands would be travel, moving to a new location. I think Gemini needs a breath of fresh air. You need a complete life change. But for it to happen with the Knight of Cups reversed, you need to get out of fantasy land. So the Knight of Cups upright is a person who's living in Neptunian energy. They're living in deception. They're living in illusions. The life is a set of illusions, basically. Strongly, the message here is around a masculine, that some of you Gemini women, I'm telling you, this guy's a player. Pay attention to if you're just anxious all the time, stressed out over the time with this person. Some of you might be jobless, or basically the money's just not coming in, or there's no support. So the Four of Wands is a support network. It's feeling like we're supported. Let's see the energy Gemini's in this week. What is the energy that Gemini is in this week, please? Not taking any action. So I think some of you are sitting around this week, you're in your head, you are anxious, overthinking, you're kind of paralyzing yourself because you keep thinking in the same thoughts, so you keep creating the same reality. The Knight of Wands is very pushy. This is a person who's going to go and get what they want. They're going to go and take what they want. For some of you, I think you're letting the people around you control you, or external forces control you or stop you. Okay, so Knight of Wands upright would be you're starting to take action towards entrepreneurial goals, dreams, all of this, but Knight of Wands reversed is you're not. Ten of Pentacles reversed, Two of Cups reversed. And this is your energy, the Nine of Swords. So I think what you've got to be, this can be your shadow, or it can be things that are happening in the shadows. Okay? Maybe you're not taking any action because you're in fear. Maybe you've got some kind of dark force that's working against you, okay? Because we do have this woman with the blindfold in the background. But I think it's time to start becoming combative. If your enemies want a war, they've got one. It's time to start letting people know what time it is. The Empress. Again, I would definitely say that Geminis are being stopped because some of you have got a lot of potential, okay? But it's either, yes, you've got dark forces working against you, or it's about you're just out of alignment. I'd probably say mostly you're just out of alignment. You're not in the right location. You're not around the right people. You're around tired people, not inspired people. You're around dead enders. Right. And some of you, it's about if you're going to create this new reality, if you're going to create this new version, then, then you're not going to do it in this current version. The old self must die for you, Gemini. You need to stop pouting. I think a lot of it's yourself. You're allowing anxiety and fear to dominate you. You're making bad choices. I think the good stuff for Geminis this week, though, is that for the Geminis who've finally learned the lesson, it's really good. So you're no longer pursuing what's rejecting you. You're not chasing anybody. You're not asking for permission. But I would definitely say for a lot of years, it's just being out of alignment, trying to commit to people who don't want commitment, trying to get success around 9 to 5ers. It's just not going to work. Right. I think Gemini needs to start firstly working on itself. Right. The Empress is you. Taking control of the wheel, connecting to God. See the Queen of Swords reverse. This is self-sabotage. Okay, so there's another story that's coming up here. So this is a person who's actively pursuing somebody, and I think it's you. Okay, so you're actively pursuing somebody, but this person is already with somebody else. The problem is with this shadow, this can be your own shadow that's acting out. You're sabotaging. You're doing things that are dangerous. So I did this reading multiple times, and in the background there was sirens multiple times. So sirens signal danger. Right. And I think there's kind of messing with your own shadow, testing your own darkness, playing with other people's darkness. That could also be a message here. Okay? So just be careful. Some of you as a form of darkness is where you're immoral and you pursue people who are married or committed. Right? Some of you, maybe that's what you need to also realise, that someone is married or committed, or maybe this is someone who'll play about with you, but they won't marry you, they won't commit to you. Okay? So I think now there's different messages for some Geminis. You just don't be in this version. Okay? Like you haven't been your best version for a while and you just don't be in this version. The Empress would be somebody who takes responsibility for their life, for their abundance. Like they're not out here blaming anybody, projecting on anybody. If they're in a life that they don't want, they know it's their job to fix it. You're not waiting for some man to come and save you. You're not waiting for anybody to come and save you. You'll save your damn self. Now, some of you, the attacks that have been relentless is because the aura that you've got can't be bought. Beauty can be bought. A good body can be attained. So some of you have got people around you who really don't like you, but it's because of the power, the aura. That's unattainable. That's godly. That's not something that can be attained in the physical world. It's something that a person's either got it or they haven't. There's something here about a person who's got star power. They've got aura. There's something about them. And I think it really rubs a lot of people the wrong way because they don't have it. And it can't be bought. So if you kind of feel like you're being attacked or rejected or pack mentality, it's because of that. But I wouldn't give a fuck. So I would also say for the Geminis who've been through a really difficult time and you feel like there's been injustice, there's two messages to this. One, your enemies are going to wish that they fuck with somebody else. And two, you're going to get back what they took threefold, tenfold. Okay, so for the Geminis who were attacked and hurt, yes, you have lost a lot, but you've also gained a lot, right? People have exposed themselves, they've revealed themselves. You've learned a lot of necessary lessons that you couldn't have learned without this journey. Okay, so I think for Geminis, your best action this week is to start getting out of this Queen of Swords reversed. This is a person who's in a lower version and you are a Gemini. This will be a Gemini in a best version. But some of you, it's about getting out your head. You're destroying yourself. Okay, you're overthinking. You know, it's time to act. The Empress is not somebody who is, you know, and I'm not going to lie, with the Seven of Wands, the message here is if you want this future version, you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to cut the shit. You're going to have to cut the losers. You're going to have to choose your battles. Right? Not everything needs a response. Okay? How you should look at people who are backbiting you or whatever is, if you wouldn't want to be them, if you wouldn't want to live their life, don't entertain them. Period. Okay? So I feel like you need to pick your battles and I think you need to stand your ground. But I'd say for Geminis, especially the Gemini women, it's about working on this version. That future self is there, but you're going to have to get up and start putting the work in and start acting. There is a true divine counterpart that is there, but you're going to have to work in your best version. You're not very attractive right now. So for some Gemini women, I think you come across as a bit of a bitch. Right? And that might not really attract, it's not really going to attract a high-flying masculine. I just think a lot of Geminis are coming from trauma. You could be self-sabotaging. It could be you. You could be sabotaging other people. Remember we talked about the shadow? So your shadow might be angry. It might be dangerous. It might want to hurt other people.